So I don't know, man. The reason Mystikal said if you see him in the woods fighting a bear, you need to help the bear is because he an animal too. And he need to be in a cage like one. Yeah, you out here snatching meow. New Orleans rapper Mystikal just pled to the unthinkable. But first, we gotta rewind and give you the history of this guy, the man right here, the danger guy, the one who came here with his dick in his hand. Don't make me put my foot in your ass, ho, keep cool. You see, Mystikal went to prison for 6 years in the early 2000s for grape. Yeah. Mystikal, he was a freaky man, one of the rap's first freaky men.
July 3rd, 2002, Mystikal placed a call to his 40-year-old hairstylist, asking her to meet up with him at his home in Baton Rouge to do his braids. This was just a cover, as Mystikal had been suspecting financial misconduct from her, that she had been embezzling money from his bank account. When she arrived, Mystikal confronted her about the gaps in his bank account that amounted to $80,000. She started making up excuses, but they didn't add up. Mystikal became really frustrated and threatened to report her to the police if she didn't speak her truth. It was then that she admitted to cashing out unauthorized checks from his bank account. She was doing this for personal gain. Reasons for Mystikal's next move remain a mystery. Maybe he wanted to get her back for what she did. Maybe he saw it as an opportunity. He boxed her to two options. Either she was to have sex with him and they call it even, or get reported for the embezzlement of his funds. The woman reported complying out of fear of legal repercussions. Mystikal then rang his two bodyguards, Leland Ellis and Carter, and told them to come over to the house. Mystikal then commanded Ellis to tape him, having sex with her, but while the camera was turned off, reports say he got aggressive with her. When the camera rolled back on, Ellis and Carter were seen getting involved, and she's seen performing oral sex. She felt violated. It was clear to the point that Mystikal, by the help of his attorney, Gary Harvey, had to get her to sign an affidavit, which is a declaration that she consented to getting involved in group sex. This was a precautionary measure that came in handy in Mystikal's court hearing. On July 4th, she reported the incident to the police, but this was met by the signed affidavit. The woman, however, denied, saying she signed when she was in a state of confusion. Following these events, the police conducted a raid on Mystikal's residence, where they discovered the tape hidden in a safe. Subsequently, Mystikal, along with his two bodyguards, Carter and Ellis, were arrested in connection to the incident.
Now, Mystikal would somewhat escape a life sentence out of this case by pleading down to a lesser charge, which would be sexual battery and extortion. In return, he would have to do 6 years and register as a sex offender. Very, very embarrassing, but he would still be able to get out and still have a somewhat successful career in 2010. In 2016, allegedly, he would be at it again. The same MO. He would be in Shreveport, Louisiana at a casino where a woman accused him of graping her and kidnapping her, holding her against her will. Now, he would turn himself in 2017. He would be charged with first-degree rape and kidnapping. And in 2020, the grand jury would decide that there was a lack of evidence and they wouldn't charge him any longer for those charges. He did about a year in jail waiting for trial. He would get bail, and after it was released, he was officially a free man.
Didn't get a Donald Trump pardon. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't because of no money or nothing like that, no kind of influence. It was just strictly on a simple fact that I was innocent, man. Man, that felt good. I deserved it. I don't know how it was gonna work out, but I knew it was gonna work out. I did. I thought I was gonna probably have to plead or something else. I don't know. That's just how the system goes. And that's how my mind been conditioned from my experience from it. The first situation I pled guilty, that was some kind of strategy I was using for not to get that life sentence off my back. You know what I'm saying? Our legal system is broke, especially, and I'm not trying to play the race card and all that, but it is what it is. You know, like I was just trying to get it over with, man. That was me in that Mystikal. That would scare me. Well, this situation, this like 1,000 that Mystikal, baby. This ain't me in that Mystikal. I did 6 years for that, man. Like I said, when I pulled my license out, it have a title on it. Like, man, come on, man, what the? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely learned from that.
Now, you would think that Mystikal would stay out of trouble. He's been convicted. He did 6 years. He was just facing another life sentence. But one thing about a predator is they can't help themselves. They just gotta try it again, because Mystikal would strike again in 2022. Yes, the same MO. First degree rape, domestic abuse, false imprisonment, robbery.
Good evening. First at 6 o'clock, Mystikal, a well-known rapper on the wrong side of the law tonight. His third rape arrest over the past 2 decades.
Tonight, Mystikal, whose real name is Michael Tyler, is being held without bond at the Ascension Parish Jail. WBRZ first to break the high-profile rapper's arrest on our news app this morning, and the investigative unit first to publish the disturbing details on what landed him in jail. Here is our chief investigator, Chris Nakamoto.
Michael, Sylvia, a woman claims she was raped, robbed, and held against her will by a man whose fame did not provide him any favors. Tonight, Mystikal sits in the Ascension jail accused of charges that could put him away for life if he's convicted.
21-year-old Michael Tyler isn't known to many by his real name. The music you just heard got him famous. His stage name, Mystikal. Tonight, a woman alleges he raped her at his home on Saturday in Prairieville, robbed her, and held her against her will.
2 individuals, they met up at his home to discuss some finances. And at some point, that conversation went very, very far left. She said that he seemed fine when they were initially talking. At some point, he stepped away, maybe to the restroom. He came back a completely different person. And that was when he began to come on to her.
This warrant for Mystikal's arrest details exactly what he's accused of. The woman had cuts, bruises on her arms, leg, face, mouth, and neck and hair yanked from her scalp. The warrant alleges Mystikal punched her, pulled her braids from her head, took her phone and keys to prevent her from leaving, choked her to the point she could not breathe, and forcibly raped her. The victim alleges Mystikal verbally berated her, spit in her face, and threw rubbing alcohol on her, claiming that she had bad spirits on her, that it would help cleanse. No one came to the door at his home on Retreat Lane in Prairieville, but neighbors on this quiet street told me he was always cordial and waved, but he also kept to himself and was a recluse. In 2014, we caught up with him on a ride-along with deputies as they checked on convicted sex offenders, which he is.
How you doing?
Good. Oh, Lord.
At the time, he told us he knew how important these checks are, especially when sex offenders are in your neck of the woods.
I have the same fears that most parents have. You know, I don't have no offense against no, young kids or nothing like that. Don't make my offense no better, but still, protect your kids, man. Protect your kids. That's, our kids are the most important thing that we have.
He also said being a sex offender had not stopped him from living.
Don't do the pity party thing, I have to participate in sex offender groups and stuff like that twice a month. It don't stop your life, man.
Despite his fame, the sheriff's office says he's not being treated any differently tonight.
He didn't show the victim any sympathy, and he doesn't get any sympathy or special treatment. So he will be in general population or will be incarcerated just like anyone else.
Mystikal has been charged twice before for rape, once in 2002, another in 2017. The first one resulted in a 6-year prison conviction and forced him to register as a sex offender. 3 weeks ago, deputies were also called to Mystikal Street after a man says a woman came to his door alleging she was beaten by the rapper. He has a bond hearing tomorrow afternoon. Michael?
Well, I guess 3 strikes you out, Mystikal, because yesterday Mystikal pled guilty and he's now facing 20 years in prison. And with his history, I'm assuming that the max is coming, my boy.
News starts now with breaking news.
And breaking this afternoon at 4, Louisiana rapper Mystikal pleaded guilty to third-degree rape charges moments ago. Thank you for joining us here at 4. I'm Tisha Powell. Mystikal now faces a maximum of 20 years in prison. Rapper Mystikal, whose legal name is Michael Tyler, was arrested in 2022 on rape and domestic abuse charges. The judge in the case ordered a pre-sentence investigation before the sentencing, which is set for June 16th. Tyler faced similar charges back in 2004 for sexually assaulting his hairstylist. He would end up spending 6 years behind bars and labeled a registered sex offender.
Now I'm gonna just say this. That first plea where he did 6 years, he said he did that just to get the case off of his back, get that life sentence off of his back. He rather just had did that 6 years, even though he claims that he didn't do what they're accusing him of. Could that be true? Maybe. The second time, okay, they dropped the charges. I'm still looking at you a little funny. Then there's a third time, and now you're pleading guilty again, knowing that you could get a 20-year sentence. To me, that sounds like where smoke, there's fire. And Mystikal, they say what you did that shit. That's just what it is with me now. Anybody who pleads out knowing that they're facing the highest, most likely length of time for the plea, it's got to be some type of evidence out there that scared you into doing this plea, because you've been sitting down for a minute. On top of that, you doing a plea means that there's no appeal that can be filed. You got to do this day for day. And to me, if I didn't do it, I'm not taking no plea. So I don't know, man. The reason Mystikal said if you see him in the woods fighting a bear, you need to help the bear is because he an animal too. And he need to be in a cage like one. Yeah, you out here snatching meow. Listen, brother, you had all the fame. You had all the money. But you still chose to be a predator. Time after time after time. You could be one of these rappers that's doing verses. You had hits. You could have got residual income, taking care of your family. But that's not the route you chose. So they need to lock your ass up in that cage for 20 years. Hell, I might write a letter to the judge. Because you a danger to society, my boy. You prey on women. You beat them. You rob them. You rape them. It is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. Do y'all think that Mystikal need to stay where he at? Or do y'all think that, you know, he's just getting done wrong by the justice system? That's just how they do the black man. Y'all let me know. Make sure that y'all hype me up. Hit that hype button down below somewhere. Keep me in the algorithm. It's good for me for a smaller channel. Y'all make sure that y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. We out, baby. Boom.
IG-TheLaFlare.
It's him.